The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real.
I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Whatever you thought boxing beef looked like, think again. Anthony Joshua just unleashed a call out on Jake Paul so bold, you'll wonder if AJ lost a bet or finally got tired of YouTube boxers. Jake's response? Still unknown, possibly because he's Googling how to survive Anthony Joshua. What triggered this? Who lit the fuse? And is the world about to witness the most unexpected matchup ever? Stay right here. This gets wild instantly.
You know, I mean, I still laugh at people saying, you know, I get stopped in the street, people saying to me, is there a script? I'm like, yeah, there is a script. It's we go out and knock this guy clean out for boxing, and then we move on for a massive 2026. That's the only script from our side. You know, this is a real fight. This is a sanctioned contest. This is a fight where people can put bets on. People, you know, it is completely illegal to have any kind of agreement of how the fight should play out. And we would never be as involved. That's why we would never have an exhibition.
Anthony Joshua, heavyweight royalty and certified calm energy king, has suddenly taken a detour into, you know what? I've had enough of this Jake Paul universe. And honestly, nobody can blame him.
All right. Thank you. Just real quick for AJ. When this offer came on your table, did you take it seriously? Did you think it was a joke? What was your reaction when you first saw it?
I take it seriously. He's a conqueror. His mentality is solid. He's better than Tyson Fury. He's sitting here. So I take him seriously. I give him the respect he deserves. Mentally, I'm going to give him the respect he deserves in preparation.
1 minute, AJ is minding his business, being built like a Greek statue sculpted by protein powder. And the next minute, he's delivering a verbal demolition blueprint on Jake Paul with the confidence of a man who's already picked the color of his victory robe.
Sorry, Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. This is the realest. This might be a bad call on Jake.
But you gotta respect Jake Paul for actually taking the fight, because you're talking about Anthony Joshua. You know he walks around at 260, and he was, I believe, an Olympic gold medalist.
Yes.
And fought all comers. This is a serious heavyweight. And it's actually physically dangerous for Jake Paul.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want about Jake Paul. The fact, if he's really taking this fight seriously and he actually wants to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua and give it his all, I don't care if he gets knocked out in the first 20 seconds. That guy's got plums.
What unfolds here leaves no question. A fuse definitely blew. Maybe it was Jake's callouts. Maybe it was boredom. Maybe it was the worldwide shortage of patience for YouTubers calling out title holders. But suddenly, AJ and Eddie Hearn both became professors in the subject of how to remove Jake Paul from the dimension of boxing with maximum efficiency.
Any guy that you fought before, is this a unique situation that you've never come across?
Very unique situation I've never come across, but treating with the same respect that I give all my competition.
So you got the mental fortitude, he's got the mental fortitude. But what's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me the fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
We're talking lectures, diagrams, and probably group projects on Jake's survival rate. Eddie looked like a man who has already drafted a PowerPoint presentation labeled Destruction Strategy Version 4.0, featuring AJ's fists. And the confidence on display was outrageous. The kind of confidence someone has when they've already seen the end of the movie and don't mind spoiling it for everyone. There was no hesitation, no blinking, not even that polite little grin AJ usually does before being respectful. No, this was pure, we're going to reduce this man's boxing career to a before and after meme in under 10 minutes. Eddie didn't dial things down either. The dynamic duo spoke like they already ordered the victory champagne and told the bottle opener to warm up. What made this even better was how casually brutal the tone was. Not loud, not chaotic, not unhinged. No, the most disrespectful form of confidence. Calm, certain, unbothered. The type of tone that says, this isn't competitive, this is a scheduled cleanup. AJ more or less positioned Jake like a household task, not a rival, something you sweep, complete, and never think about again. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn chimed in like a man who's been waiting for this crossover episode his entire life. He He practically said, without saying it, that Jake has been living in a fantasy world where calling out retired MMA fighters somehow equals "I'm ready for heavyweight world champions." The way Eddie framed it was comedy cinema. He didn't even need to raise his voice. The message was something like, Jake Paul is absolutely welcome to try. Please, for entertainment's sake, sign the paperwork.
When this fight happens, there's only two things I want to see. Either Anthony Joshua absolutely kills him in one round. I'm not talking about a normal knockout and the ref jumps in and stops him. I'm talking about Jake collapses and is twitching on the ground. The medical team has to jump in. Either that, or we witness the most brutal, uncomfortable 8-round beatdown onto Jake Paul. That's the only two things I can see. Because you can't tell me the agent that did this to Ngannou is going to lose to Jake Paul. Same man that did this to
The most iconic part, they spoke as if the fight was less of a fight and more of a generous community service event. Like AJ would be giving Jake Paul the honor of being clinically rearranged on a global stage. Eddie practically implied that the tickets would sell themselves purely for medical curiosity. Somewhere, Jake Paul probably sneezed and didn't know why. Spiritual instincts might have been trying to warn him. His nerves might have registered danger and just labeled it bad vibes, without realizing two British men were casually planning his athletic funeral. One thing became extremely clear. AJ wasn't trying to build hype. He wasn't trying to go viral. He wasn't performing. It came across like he'd already mentally visualized every round, every punch, and every interview after the fight, including the phrase, "Yeah, it went as expected." Eddie's face didn't help either. He looked like a man who knows exactly how many cameras to position for maximum humiliation to replay ratio. What might have triggered this? Maybe Jake's classic call-out formula: finish a fight, call out someone astronomically more qualified, upload with dramatic slow motion, wait for headlines, and repeat. Except this time, instead of headlines, he got AJ's attention, which is significantly worse for his well-being.
Gotta be careful what you say, because apparently Jake Paul's going to sue people if you say that his fights are fixed. But I'm telling you right now, if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and smoke it, I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying it's fixed, but come on.
That'd be a little sus if he doesn't go out there and do really well. And he even said, I was watching some of one of the press conferences they had, that he's training with Usyk's trainers and coaches in Spain. The dude shows up in shape, ready to box. It should be a mopping.
And the funniest part of all, AJ didn't even treat Jake like he's on the same mission. AJ is about legacy, heavyweight glory, history books. Jake is about thumbnails, merch launches, and dramatic remixes on TikTok. They're playing different sports in the same ring. One is trying to make history, the other is trying to make content. That's why this potential fight is insane and hilarious at the same time. Jake Paul fans will show up believing he can win because he once knocked out someone's uncle in a boxing match sponsored by energy drinks. Meanwhile, AJ fans will show up like they came to witness an asteroid hitting a marshmallow. Eddie Hearn knows exactly how this theater sells, which is why he subtly poured gasoline on the fire. Every reaction, every comment, every sly smile from Eddie basically said, Jake, if you want this, please, by all means, walk right into the trap we've prepared. Eddie is the type of promoter who would hand you the rope and say, no pressure, we trust you. Meanwhile, AJ radiates supernatural calm, the calm you only see in people who know they cannot lose. Not won't lose, cannot. And this is where the comedy intensifies. AJ didn't fantasize about whether he could beat Jake. He fantasized about how long to let the fight last. 5 minutes, 10, should he make it merciful or cinematic?
He was out there posting, this is going to be the biggest upset in boxing history. You have to admire the front, right? And you have to admire the confidence, the delusion, whatever you want to. He's going to get absolutely smoked on December 19th. And AJ's not going to play around. I see AJ's face in that head-to-head. He ain't messing around. And people say, oh yeah, he'll hold him up. Mate, you have no idea. AJ is going to go out there with the intentions to get him out there as soon as possible in the most destructive fashion. And all this stuff, you know, I think there was a little bit of back and forth with Nikisa on something about his Lucozade bottle or something, I don't know. And like all these things, trust me, AJ will have it in his head. And when they do the head-to-head, and if AJ feels...
If Jake Paul signs this fight, he may experience all stages of regret in real time. Optimism, confusion, panic, flashbacks, prayer, and finally, interview face down, wondering who turned the lights off. Let's explore the imagined play-by-play that AJ's confidence implied. Jake enters the ring with his usual swagger playlist, sunglasses indoors, convinced the world is about to shift in his favor. Anthony Joshua enters with zero need to prove anything, just arriving to do scheduled labor. The bell rings. Jake throws a dramatic overhand right because physics and timing are optional. AJ blocks it effortlessly and lands a punch that instantly rewrites Jake Paul's autobiography. Somewhere in the crowd, Eddie Hearn is probably sipping sparkling water and thinking, this marketing strategy went beautifully. Now picture the post-fight interview energy. Jake, dazed, speaking in metaphors about learning experiences. AJ speaking like a man who just finished mowing the lawn. Eddie Hearn chiming in with business optimism about Jake being a great sport while secretly celebrating the performance bonus. But let's not pretend Jake won't accept the fight. He absolutely will. There is no sentence Jake Paul loves more than everyone thinks you can't do it. If you want him to enter a volcano, all you have to do is tweet Jake Paul scared of lava, and he'll live stream the descent. And Eddie knows it. He knows that Jake's ego is the most reliable promotional tool in boxing.
Jake Paul's talking about fighting Gervonta Davis, who's 135 pounds. And then on the other hand, he's talking about fighting a 260 pound monster in Anthony Joshua. Listen, he's crazy enough to probably do it all if the money's right. But we're not really interested in waiting until 2016. And we're certainly not basing our career around a potential fight with Jake Paul. But if we were offered it, why not?
All he has to do is imply, gently or loudly, that Jake Paul is scared of AJ, and Jake will show up ready to risk everything, including structural jaw integrity, just to prove a point. AJ knows it too. That's why he looked so unbothered. He doesn't need to beg for the fight. Just one sentence delivered with royal detachment is enough to summon Jake like a Pokemon. Jake hears, AJ thinks you won't fight him. And suddenly he's training for a heavyweight championship he never asked for. Now imagine the marketing. Oh, the posters. Anthony Joshua standing like a monument. Jake Paul standing like he accidentally wandered into the wrong photo shoot. Pay-per-view sales skyrocketing as casual fans and medical professionals buy tickets for research. Nobody pretends this fight is a maybe Jake could win situation. That's why it's beautiful. It's pure entertainment. It's watching someone say, I can fight a lion because I once scared a house cat. Eddie Hearn, with sparkling confidence, would frame it as the biggest crossover in boxing history. Jake Paul fans will claim he has a puncher's chance. AJ fans will claim gravity alone is enough to finish it. Neutral viewers will buy popcorn, turn on the TV, and prepare to watch the physical definition of miscalculation. Jake Paul deserves credit, though. He's fearless, delusional maybe, recklessly confident, definitely, but fearless, and that's why this whole storyline works. Jake wants every big name. AJ is the biggest name. Jake thinks he's ready. AJ thinks Jake is asking for an educational beatdown. Eddie thinks this is excellent business. Everyone wins, except Jake.
What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league.
The chaotic beauty is that if Jake somehow lands one good punch, even if AJ doesn't flinch, Jake will post a highlight clip titled "Shook the World." And if AJ drops Jake 10 times in 3 rounds, Jake will still post a clip titled "The fight was rigged, but I learned a lot." No matter what, Jake is uploading content. And AJ, he'll probably go home, drink tea, and continue his day. Because some victories don't feel like victories. They feel like chores. If this fight happens, the press conference alone will be a cinematic universe. Eddie Hearn smiling like a billionaire who found a cheat code. AJ speaking with calm surgical menace. Jake showing up wearing something outrageous, waving insults like glitter at a parade. And the audience will stare at the panel thinking, Jake, my guy, they are not playing with you. Even Jake's brother Logan might start praying publicly. And you know it's serious when Logan pauses merch ads for spiritual reflection. No matter how Jake spins it, AJ and Eddie have already set the tone. This isn't a rivalry, it's a warning disguised as an invitation. A gentle reminder wrapped in humor that sometimes self-confidence meets a heavyweight reality check. And deep down, Jake knows it too. But he'll still take the fight. Not because he thinks he'll win, but because Jake Paul has never once turned down chaos, attention, or martial consequences.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and He's entertaining. I like it.
Is he?
At the end of the day, AJ and Eddie exposed the situation in the most casual, disrespectfully confident way possible. They made it clear, without trash talk, that Jake Paul would not just lose, he would get publicly disassembled, efficiently, professionally, surgically. And that is exactly why everyone wants to see it. Because no matter what happens, one thing is guaranteed. The internet will break. Because the minute this fight gets officially announced, social media will ignite like someone dropped a flamethrower into a comment section. Half the world will scream that Jake Paul is the future of boxing. The other half will scream that he's the future of hospital bed rest. And a small but dedicated group will start editing dramatic AI posters showing Jake riding a lion or AJ punching through a mountain. Sports analysts will pretend to be neutral. They'll say things like, Jake has improved tremendously, while silently scheduling their prediction videos titled, Why AJ Will Win in Under 6 Minutes. Influencers will claim, boxing needed this. Traditional fans will say, boxing absolutely did not need this. And Eddie Hearn will say, relax, it's entertainment. The craziest part is that this might actually become the biggest fight of Jake's career. Not because it's fair, but because it's cinematic. It's Goliath versus someone who saw Goliath on TikTok once and thought, I can do that. If this fight sells, it won't be because the matchup makes athletic sense. It'll sell because humans love chaos, confidence, and watching a story where someone tries something they absolutely should not try. Jake Paul has built a multi-billion view empire doing exactly that.
Expected, he will take everything out on Jake. But listen, fair play to Jake Paul. Everyone's been saying to him, fight a real fighter. Now he's fighting Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
So good luck.
It's crazy as well. He's officially, AJ officially announced he's teamed up with Team Usyk as well. I mean, can only be a good thing for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I think AJ's always been the guy who's looking to evolve, isn't he, and improve. And he's obviously felt that he wanted to go and just trial it with Team Usyk. He's had a great time. I know they're working him very, 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 very hard. Yeah. Like, we've had some funny conversations, to be honest with you. It's almost like he's kind of been back at a sort of amateur training camp in the respect of like the work that's been going in.
And Anthony Joshua, he's built his entire identity on doing the exact opposite. Training, discipline, experience, strategy. AJ is the polished world-class blueprint. Jake is the algorithm-powered wildcard. And nothing screams must-watch event louder than a polished blueprint trying to teach a wildcard the difference between ambition and reality. Press tours will be glorious. Jake will walk in with sunglasses, full hype, and a belief level at 200%. AJ will sit next to him, calm as a monk, listening like he's deciding which flavor of victory he wants. And Eddie will sit somewhere between them like a wedding planner who already knows the bride is going to cry. Fans will pick sides. Memes will multiply. Fight predictions will flood every platform. And the funniest thing is, AJ won't need to say much. His silence alone will feel like a threat. Jake will talk because talking is his superpower. AJ will stare because his superpower is being terrifying without trying. By fight week, the entire world will be emotionally invested, whether out of loyalty, curiosity, or pure hope that their prediction video ages well. And once the bell rings, no matter the outcome, the internet will document every millisecond from every angle. There's only one guarantee in all of this. Nobody, not a single person on earth, is missing that broadcast.